Two men wrote in asking the same thing. Give me a list of every fluid in this truck other than the oil, because nobody ever has. Fair question. And here's what makes it harder than it sounds. Two Silverados can sit side by side, same year, same badge, and carry different transmissions, different axles, different capacities, different service procedures. Tonight, every major service fluid besides engine oil. Which ones don't exist on your truck at all? And the additive mistake I see good men make on the rear axle. This is the 2007 through 2013 half-ton gas engine. HD trucks, diesels, and anything 2014 and newer change some of this. Open your glove box and read the sticker inside the door. That's your RPO list, the option codes your truck was built with. Now understand its limits. It tells you what's under there. It doesn't give you capacity, viscosity, interval, or fill procedure. The RPO identifies the component. The manual supplies the answer. VIN, RPO label, the tag on the part itself, and the book for your year. They work together, and no one of them does the whole job. Two things on tonight's list may not exist on your truck. I'll flag them. First, the expensive one. Across these years, GM didn't put one transmission in every half-ton. Some got a 4-speed, some a 6-speed, and they don't take the same filter, the same pan gasket, or the same amount of fluid. So before you buy a single part, pull the transmission code off the RPO label or the build data on your VIN. Buying a service kit off the year alone is how a man ends up standing in his driveway with a pan already dropped and the wrong gasket in his hand. On fluid, these call for Dexron VI. GM's bulletin confirms it's backward compatible with the earlier Dexron applications in automatics. Now the thing worth understanding, regardless of which unit you have, service capacity is not dry capacity. Drop the pan, change the filter, and you're replacing part of what's in there. A good portion stays up in the torque converter and doesn't come out. That's not a failure. That's the job. And here's the decision that actually saves money. If your truck has very high mileage, unknown service history, slipping, shuddering, heavy debris in the pan, or fluid that smells burnt, do not approve a generic machine exchange before somebody evaluates its condition. That's not because exchanges are evil. It's because the right service depends on what's actually in there. Identify the transmission, inspect its condition, then choose the service, in that order. Second, 4-wheel drive only. 2-wheel drive men, that's the first thing you can skip. Your transfer case takes Dexron VI on these trucks, straightforward. But I want to show you why it's straightforward. Because this is the trap that catches careful people. When the new body arrived for 2007, GM changed the transfer case hardware. The older trucks used a different case that took a different, specific fluid. Go online today and you'll still find plenty of good advice written for that older truck. And it isn't wrong. It's just written for a different generation. And 2007 is the year it bites, because GM sold both. There was a classic body on the lot next to the new one. Same model year, two different trucks, two different answers. A man can do the job carefully and still do it wrong, if he follows instructions written for another generation. Read the tag on your case. Check the book for your year and your body style, then buy. Third, the axles. Rear on every truck. Front only if you're 4-wheel drive. That's the second thing 2-wheel drive owners skip. Capacities and specifications depend on which axle you've got. Half-ton axles came in more than one size, front and rear are different, and the number for your truck is in the book, not on a forum. Now here's the one I most want you to hear, because it's the mistake made by men actively trying to do right. Walk into a parts store, mention a locking rear end, and somebody hands you a bottle of limited slip friction modifier. Everybody's heard you need it. If your truck carries the G80, that code's on your sticker. Do not add anything your year-specific GM specification doesn't call for. The G80 is a governor-actuated locking differential. It's built to sense one wheel outrunning the other, engage, then release. That's different hardware from a conventional constant preload limited slip, and it has its own fluid requirement. GM's guidance has been that additives in a G80 axle can delay engagement of the locking mechanism and may reduce axle life. That's the manufacturer's position on their own part, not a rumor somebody repeated. And if you suspect something's already in there, don't assume either direction. Verify your axle and fluid specification first, then decide whether it's worth draining and refilling. That's a question for somebody who can put eyes on your truck. Alright, the specification mistakes are behind us. The next 3 damage a truck differently. Not because a man bought the wrong bottle, because 15 years went by and nobody thought about them at all. Coolant first. What matters is the approved specification for your truck and the correct concentration, not the color in the tank. And be honest about history. 15 years is a long time, and most of us don't know everything that's been poured in. Cloudy, brown, or rusty coolant can mean contamination, corrosion, age, or products that got mixed. And those are 4 different problems with 4 different answers. That's a system that wants inspecting, not topping off. Brake fluid next. DOT3 on these trucks, and this one runs on time rather than miles. Brake fluid absorbs moisture out of the air. That's simply what it does. Moisture is what corrodes lines and cylinders from the inside. And on a truck living where they salt the roads, that's not small. Follow the maintenance guidance for your year. And when the service history is unknown, have the fluid's moisture content and condition evaluated rather than guessed at. Always pour from a clean, sealed container. An open jug on a shelf has already started taking on water. And if your reservoir is low, don't just fill it. Low can mean normal pad wear taking up slack in the calipers. It can also mean a hydraulic leak or another fault. Topping it off before you know, which is how a man hides a problem from himself. Last one. These trucks have hydraulic power steering with a reservoir you can actually see, which is more than I can say for some newer trucks, where the system went electric and there's nothing to service. This isn't necessarily a fixed interval flush on every truck. Think of it as a system whose level, leaks, noise, and fluid condition shouldn't be ignored. And if you're hearing a groan at low speed or a whine at idle, don't assume it's just low fluid. It can be pump wear, air in the system, a belt or pulley, a restricted hose, or the steering gear. Check the easy thing first, then keep looking. So here's the rule, and it's the only thing I really need you to keep. Never buy drivetrain fluid by model name alone. Identify the component, verify the specification, then buy the fluid. A dealership can pull most of this off your VIN. That's not sinister, it's just that the owner is almost never shown how the answer got chosen. A service advisor sees a package. A careful owner sees separate components with separate requirements. And a man maintaining an older Silverado doesn't need a generic package. He needs the correct answer for the truck already paid for in his driveway. So tell me, your year, your mileage, 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive, and the last fluid besides engine oil that you actually changed. If you know whether you've got G80 or NP8, throw that in too. If your Silverado's still earning its keep, hit subscribe.